Biofuels are a hot topic in science, industry, and media. In this presentation, we're going to define what they are and how they're different from conventional fuels. First, we must define what fossil fuels are to discern them from biofuels. Fossil fuels are hydrocarbons, typically from the ancient remains of dead animals. They begin as organic material, which is eventually converted into combustible hydrocarbons through pressure exposure. This process takes upwards of thousands of years, which makes fossil fuels a functionally limited resource. Fossil fuels produce energy through combustion, meaning they get burned to release energy and other byproducts. Most fossil fuels produce air pollutants that are harmful to the environment. Fossil fuels include anything like gasoline, coal, or oil, and are currently the largest source of carbon dioxide emissions, which contribute to the greenhouse effect and global warming. Biofuels are similar to fossil fuels in that they are organic matter that we combust to produce energy. Specifically, biofuels derive from biological matter that use carbon fixation. They come from the living organisms or their immediate byproduct, such as manure. A fuel can only be considered a biofuel when it is comprised of at least 80% immediately renewable material. Because biofuels are made from carbon fixation of atmospheric carbon dioxide, the CO2 released by burning biofuels can be reabsorbed to make more biofuel. This gives biofuels a neutral impact on the environment because whatever they give off can mostly be reused. The material that can't be renewed is less toxic than that of fossil fuels, so biofuels are a cleaner emission alternative. Finally, biofuels differ from other renewable energy sources, such as solar or hydrothermal energy, because they can be turned into liquid fuel, making them a more comprehensive replacement to fossil fuels such as gasoline. With biofuels, you can still use non-electric motors while still using renewable energy. First-generation biofuels were the original biofuels developed. They are produced from things like sugar, starch, or vegetable oil, so they're easily produced. But because sugar and starch and vegetable oil all derive from food sources, these fuels come at an expense to the production of food and are not sustainable enough to replace fossil fuels to a large scale. First-generation biofuels include bioalcohols, biodiesel, bioethers, vegetable oil, and solid biofuels. Second-generation biofuels are designed with these issues in mind. They derive from materials that are readily available and producible in high quantities, but don't affect the ecosystem or food production like first-generation fuels do. For example, cellulosic ethanol is a second-generation biofuel that is produced from the inedible cellulose of plants, so they don't interfere with food production. Most of these biofuels are still in a process of development, but shed a light of potential on mass-produced renewable liquid fuels. Overall, biofuels have a lot of work to do if they're going to replace fossil fuels, but there are promising technologies being developed that may give biofuels a place in industry. So long as there's necessity, the hurdles to establish biofuels can be overcome.